Welcome, everyone. You are live, and it is part 3 of the loaded Wednesday night slate. I am Mr. Cubfidentiality, a.k.a. Denzel Snipes, and this is Cubfidential, the hottest Cubs coverage this side of Northside Chicago. So, pop your popcorn, heat up your deep dish pizza, grab a beer, because for the next 30 minutes, it's going to be in-your-face coverage. We got the one and only Mr. Ubbs coming in here. By the way, I am standing in. JB couldn't make it tonight, so I'll be producing and hosting, wearing 2 hats, of course. Who does it better? But let's not waste any time. Let's get Mr. Ubbs in here. Our Cubs commentator, Jacob Christner, a.k.a. the Punnet's Punnet. Great show earlier, brother.
What's up? We have no JB. I didn't bring the spirit to it. No, we had I just need a cigarette in my hand. I need a backwards cap. I mean, we just have to figure the whole thing out. It's like I need a bed.
And you also need the deep goatee, the Steve Austin goatee.
So it'll take me about 3 hours to grow it, knowing me.
Yeah, I grow it pretty fast. I know, I'm the same way. But I want to get it started real fast. First of all, everybody, we are on. If you're watching us on one platform, just know you can find us on others. We're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, DBTV, and Stream TV. Watch replays of this. Well, not only if you like and subscribe to Sideline Sports, like you should be doing, but in which you can watch it anytime you want. But if you also have access to Stream TV, it's awesome. We have our own channel on there, and so there's constant replays, content all the time on there, as well as the latest and greatest. So please check us out on Stream TV. Also, we're on LinkedIn as well as Twitter and Facebook. So let's go ahead and get it started. We've had some winning Cubs baseball as of late, and we're going to start with I know they're currently in a series against Pittsburgh, but this one here was a one from last week, of course. They swept the Bucks, including 11-3 blowout win in Game 2. Your thoughts on this one? Because, Pittsburgh was one of the upper teams in the division.
Yes, it was. The fans are starting to turn on them again, and in their case, I don't like fans, but in this case, you can't blame them. Because they just gave an extension to a really, really bad manager who's had like one of the lowest percentages, the winning percentages in team history, and this tells you a lot about Pittsburgh. He's had one of the lowest percentages. They gave it to him because he had a fast start. They basically did a Mel Tucker on him. Oh. So it's like they did Mel Tucker, and Mel Tucker's not going to. And remember, they're going to do that payout on Mel Tucker eventually because he's not going to be very good on. They're not going to go. But this is the point. This is the point on something. The Cubs, they had 11. Next game, I believe they had 7. See, normally when you have 11, that team, it takes 6 games for them to get hot or get anything against. 2, 1, 0. I remember the last time they had 11, they got shut out twice against San Diego when they split, I believe, but they got shut out twice. So they usually struggle when they do. They're figuring it out, which is wonderful.
Yep, and talking about Game 2 in particular, a couple of highlights that happened. Well, you had Ian Happ, who had a 3-run first inning drive. Then also you had Christopher Morel, who added another 3-run homer in the 8th. That one there was likely the dagger. And it's crazy too because it was Pittsburgh that got on the board first with a Sawinski home run. Then Happ was like, "Yeah, okay, my turn," and he sends a 3-run jack out there, and then they pretty much didn't look back. Sawinski actually had the homer by a single on the left. Palacio scored in the 2nd. Then in the 6th, Sawinski homered to tie the game, and then it was just all Cubs. They just exploded from the 6th inning. Again, you had Morel who hit a 3-run homer in the 8th. I've always said the bet's got to come alive at the right time.
Right.
And is this not an example of it? At least in Game 2's example.
Well, it's the example. Exactly, and I'll tell you this, Morel. You bring up Morel. I bring this up every single week. An injury for him at the end of the year would basically devastate this team. It's not because he is like a 300, 350 hitter or anything that's like. He is just pure energy. Pure energy. And not everyone on that team is pure energy. They're decent. They're a good team. I think they're a team. I think they're a manager away from going all the way. Maybe get a couple pieces, Shohei Ohtani. but They're that, but that's the point. But that's the point on all of this is the fact that if you lose your energy guy, I mean, think of it this way: Dexter Fowler, he was the energy guy for that team to make it all the way. You always need an energy guy. I mean, David Freese was the energy guy for St. Louis when they won it all.
Contreras took over, and he was the last of the Mohicans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think Morel's next in line.
You absolutely. It doesn't even matter. That's the thing. You got to remember when the Cubs won the World Series, we talk about the energy guy like Dexter Fowler. You also had Jason Hayward giving motivation. That was monstrous in the 10th inning. So those were the biggest things to say. It's the fact that you always. It is more than the batting. It is more than the batting averages. It's more than all of that. The things that people do not understand with all of this is the fact they are living in the idea of fantasy baseball, fantasy football, all that, and it's all points. And it's all this, and it's all who's doing well, the batting averages. That's like 10% of it. Because here's the thing, the Angels win the World Series every year because of Ohtani and Trout. If it wasn't, it was just if it was just stats. They lose 9-6 about every game.
Yeah, they usually are close ones. I mean, like 3-run, like they lose winnable games. That's crazy. It's such a problem. And that's always been my thing with the Angels, man. It's like they have who a lot of people would say are the two best players in baseball. One, absolutely, no doubt, in Shohei Ohtani, and then the other one in Mike Trout, but yet you can't sniff the postseason. Now, granted, the Astros have been running that division for the last 6-7 years, but they should at least be netting a wild card.
You know what I would absolutely do if I was the Angels right now, and this is the absolute thing right now. Instead of 3-4, one's a 3 and one's a 4, or 2 and 3, or whatever. You want to know what I would do with that lineup? Let's see. I would put the Trout third and Ohtani sixth, or the other way around.
Oh.
One starts the middle of the lineup, one starts the bottom. It starts the motivation. Right now, you've got them back to back. Who else? What are they scared of? Once you get them out of the way, what are you scared of?
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Totally.
What are you scared of? So it's like, if you're going to do something like that, even though it looks crazy, it's a Joe Madden type idea in your own head. It looks nuts to put an Ohtani at 6th or a Trout at 6th, but you're starting you're kind of kickstarting your whole group.
Yeah.
You're kickstarting the middle of the lineup and then the bottom of the lineup.
All you need is just one. All you need is essentially 1 through 4 to get on base.
Well, yeah, and then you kickstart it. But that's the thing. If you got a 2 and 3, who else do you have to fear? I mean, you basically got 2 more innings before you see him again. That's the whole point of this. This has been this way for years. You got them at 2 and 3, big deal. Then they're 80 and 82. Okay, they're winning those 80 games by themselves, but then they lose 82 because they don't have a lineup.
You don't have a lineup. Very true. You don't have very much to backfield, so why have them back to back? I agree. So going on to the next series here, and that is our Cubs Baltimore.
Shearer's afraid of us. Shearer's afraid of us.
Shout out to John Shearer. What a confidential loading. Cubs take 2
Come on, little guy. Come on, little guy. Get over here.
And as of this game, they've won 7 of the last 9, but actually. The Cubs just beat the Pirates 8-3, and
another Hendricks win. That's the career win number 90.
Yeah, yep. That's number 90 for But I mean, the Cubs are getting hot at kind of the right time here. In particular, and I think this is game 1 I'm looking at here. Morel homered, go figure. Amaya homered, Swanson homered. They just let the bats loose,
Well, it's energy. That's the thing. Again, it's energy. It's like I said, the minute we hear, this is the thing. The minute that we hear Christopher Morel on the IL, like I say 60-day IL or whatever, he blew his knee out, whatever. Like the 8-4 win. That's the last win for the next 2 weeks.
Oh.
It just is, and it's not because he is the greatest on the team. It's the energy. The energy will deflate right off the. I mean, remember what happened to the Cubs in 2003 after the he had kicking the ball at shortstop after the thing with Alou and then Bartman, all that kind of stuff. The energy just blew completely out of the stadium. You've
Yeah,
got to, energy
absolutely.
is the number one thing more than anything else. It gets everything motivated. Why do you think Austin Riley gets a 450-foot home run when the team's going nuts? When the Braves are
Yeah,
going nuts?
yeah, absolutely. They it's almost as if like that key guy has to stay there, Morel. And again, this just like you said, this game in particular, I was talking about. It's another Hendricks win as well. You know, Hendricks really looking like he's coming back to form. Stroman still doing Stroman. I would see the Cubs could have one of the better starting rotations in baseball. You figure Steele, Hendricks, Stroman, like you know what I mean. So they got their three-headed monster. What
Well,
do you think
Hendricks
is?
is what I wanted. Hendricks is what I want. Hendricks and Stroman is what I wanted in the first place. They finally won their first two games together, which is what I
Yes.
wanted. My issue with the Hendricks, and you're talking to somebody who's a big Hendricks fan. My issue is he's walking people. I mean, I've seen him go 5-6 weeks without giving up a walk. It's just like do all that, even if he's struggling to give up home runs. The one thing that worries me is he's doing really good now. He could get 12 wins. The part-time year. He could get 12 wins. What happens if you cut yourself into the playoffs? Those walks are what kill you more than anything else. And I think he had like maybe 2 walks the whole playoffs in 16.
Mm.
It's like he didn't. He remember that his main number one thing is placement in the zone. I like how he's 3-2 right now. I like it. I
Hmm.
like how he's. I think he's about 7 out of 10. He even had 2 walks in the one hitter. In the one
Yeah.
hit game, he had 2 walks. So it's like I want to see those stop. I want to see those walks stop. I want to see that placement. I want to see what he's getting at. Like I think the walks are because they all talked about his. They all talked about his. They wanted to get more velocity. I'm like, don't even listen to him. Don't
Oh,
even listen to him. He's not a velocity guy. He's gonna get murdered. And it's like,
yeah.
and then the velocity. Every time you see the velocity, he's walking people.
There you go. But want to go on to the next one. It's our. Let's go ahead and take a trip overseas real fast. So this is our MLB London series. We've got a hated rivalry going down in England. The Cubs, who are now 36 and 38, hey, they're 2 games back from 500. Then we going against the rival St. Louis Cardinals. As it stands, Game 1 starters Justin Steele versus Wainwright. That'll be a hell of a matchup. Cubs show at 58.2% chance to win that game. And then for Game 2, it is Stroman versus Flaherty. Cubs with a 50.4% chance to win the game.
Wait a
What do
minute.
you,
Stroman just pitched 2 days ago.
As of right now, he's listed as pitching.
I doubt
Now,
it
mind you,
because
this
he.
is on. Now, mind you, this is on June the 25th.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. You got to remember, this is the point I was made. I mean, he only pitched yesterday, and then it was today. So it's like it wouldn't be there. But here's the thing about this. They missed it. I mean, this is where I talk about David Ross being, irresponsible. I'm already, he's an out to lunch manager. It's like he doesn't have enough experience. This is where the whole thing. If this is where you market your team. What if you're going to London? You got your 2 best pitchers. What if you've got Stroman versus what is it, Miles? Crap. I mean, who's okay? We know who. Let's see. We know who Steele's facing is Wainwright. Who is Stroman supposed to face?
Flaherty, he's 4 and
Flaherty.
5.
Flaherty.
He's
Yeah.
got a 4.95 earned run average. He's got 80 innings pitched. Stroman's coming in 9 and 4 with a 2.28 ERA. We're at 98.2 innings pitched.
What if you have Stroman versus Flaherty what if you have for that thing and you're trying to get people in the baseball in London? What if you have Stroman versus Flaherty and Hendricks versus Wainwright? See, that's why they didn't plan. They didn't plan anything. It's why Ross isn't through and stuff like that. You could be able to have something like that. That would be amazing to watch, especially with the energy the Cubs are doing right now hitting. It's like those are these 2 good pitching matchups. Instead, I mean, I don't think we're going to see Stroman. So instead, you're basically going to get Steele and then Smiley.
So you think Smiley's going to be facing Flaherty?
I absolutely do, because it was unless they're going to wear his arm out. This is not the World Series, nor is it 1967.
What a steals record.
He just remember Stroman just pitched yesterday.
Yeah, he did. Steele is 7-2. He's got a 2.71 ERA. He's got 73 innings pitched. Wainwright's 3-1, 5.56 ERA, and he's got 43.2 innings pitched.
Wainwright is heading toward country music, I believe. Just the way he's saying
I
that.
was thinking so. Yeah,
he's heading toward country music. It's like, see, I feel for okay. I'm a Cubs fan forever. The biggest thing is I am shocked that the Cardinals are ending like this, and it's like we already know Ali Marmol's 1 and out. He is done. He is flat out done. You don't lose in St. Louis. They haven't had a 90-loss season. They have not had a 90-loss season since 1990. They haven't had more than 99 losses since 1917.
That's great. That's crazy.
It's just an insane, some number, ridiculous number. They are just, they just year after year.
So
it's like, this is where I want the Cubs to be. It's like I want it to be like Pittsburgh Steelers. I want it to be. This is the thing I want to say to everyone. You've heard me on the pundit when it comes to fans.
Yeah.
In the midst of it, you got 12 World Series. Okay, it's been 2 in the last 15, 20 years. Okay, you had something like that. You there?
Oh no!
What happened?
Wait a minute. I'm here. Okay. I was listening. Go ahead.
No. But it's like maybe you have 2 in 15 years World Series. It's still World Series. Okay, you still have the World Series. You still have those. This is the thing. What if you're always around? Then you have the 83-win Cardinals taking out the Tigers, who was a heavy favorite.
Yeah.
You don't know. That's the thing about when I say with the Steelers, okay, so they had 9 and 8. You don't know if they get 14 wins. You don't know because you're always consistent. But when you have a couple of good years, then some bad years, and then everything, you don't know you don't know if you get yourself a chance at Ohtani. You don't know if you get yourself a chance when you're consistent. I wouldn't shock me if Ohtani went to the Cardinals. It wouldn't. Because, they can go to the Dodgers, but it wouldn't shock me on that because they're a winning franchise. They're constant. They're constant. It wouldn't shock me at all. And it's like, you got to remember, they got Goldschmidt out of the blue. It's like, the Cubs need to be this way. You need to be this way. Even if it's 82 and 80 a couple of years. If it's 85 and 88. It's like in the midst of the 100-win seasons. They need to have a consistency like that. That's what I want to see with it. But it's like, can the Cubs win these games? Absolutely they can. It just depends. Just depends, though. But as far as marketing the game, it would have been better if you could have had the Stroman and Hendricks back-to-back. Stroman, Hendricks, and Steele.
Yep. Again, your 3-headed monster. As far as
but Ross doesn't know how to get a pitching staff right. He didn't look ahead on that.
He's got the talent too. Well, yes. Going on to our next topic here, and that is outside of Wrigley. How about this? The sizzling hot Reds have won 12 of the last 18. They take first in the NL Central. So, what do you think will be the outcome of the Red season? Division winner, wild card, or finish just outside the postseason?
See, this is the thing. They're an injury away. They look good, but it's a small ballpark. And it's like, I've seen this a couple of times over about 15 years. I remember when ESPN had won the World Series in June of 07, 06, something like that. They were hot. Mm-hmm. Then they completely forgot about it when the Reds sunk. Completely forgot. Pretend they never said it, which ESPN is bound to do. They're bound to do, and they've done that a couple of different times. Now, the thing is, could they? Oh, they could very easily. They got the small ballpark to do something like this. But again, you're an injury away. And then this is a small ballpark. It's also for the other team, too.
Yep, absolutely. Wow, how do you think
Votto's back. And Votto's back. So it's like right now, that's energy. But we just got to see. We got to see as it gets hotter and stuff like that. Also, what are you going to do in September?
Yeah, agreed. And, and just like Nick Botkins alluded to, it's not that good of a division. It's an easy division to win. Even at this point, it's anybody's division because we're talking about the Cardinals and the Cubs and the Reds, and the Brewers could very well steal the division. You know what I mean? They are still very much a playoff team.
And Cardinals are 8 out, and it's like, and they've done this before. Being 8 out, of course, they've just never been last place. So those are these are things to think about by itself. It's not. Here's the thing. I don't know if I just don't see the Cubs doing something with Ross around as far as the playoffs. I just like him to stay consistent. So you can go get a Girardi or somebody that's more than, that has the ability.
You know what? I'm in agreement with you. I believe Girardi is going to be he's looking at being the next coach of the Cubs, but I guess time will tell on that one. But
right now isn't he in the booth?
Yeah, but if Lasorda made it come back and so did La Russa, why can't he?
Update: Porzingis deal fell apart with Boston.
Oh, so he's not going to be a Celtic?
Nope, it fell apart. We saw it now.
Wow. Well, on to our next topic, and that is a tale of two Cubs, Hap versus Morel. So if it came down to one, which one makes the 2023 NL All-Star team?
Morel.
I knew you were saying Morel.
5 miles. The All-Star team is All-Star team. All-Star team is energy. It's fans. And we're looking at Chicago Bears, and remember this. We're looking at Chicago Bears and casual fans and Justin Fields, who is 5-20, digressed in passing, is a runner and everything like that, but he's so exciting and he is big with fantasy.
Shiny new toy.
Yeah, shiny new toy. And so then you get every player coming out and say he could be the greatest of all time. And if he has another bad year as far as the team, he's not even going to be on the Bears next year. And I can promise that because there's nothing off of the books if he goes the next year before his when you have that contract. There's nothing off of the books. I say on Spot Track. But that's the point. It's a shiny new toy. And the biggest thing about it, Morel is all energy. He's fun. Hap plays well. I like Hap a lot. But this is fans, and Morel's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so your choice is Morel. Not bad. I kind of figured because Hap and it was anybody's guess if Hap was even going to be a Cub this year. Remember what we were talking about at the end of Cubfidential last year, and somehow he stuck around. Hap and Contreras had that goodbye. You know what I mean? And then, excuse me. And then come to find out, Contreras walks to the rival. Hap stays. So
remember, if the Cubs would somehow make the World Series, where's Christian Morel from, by the way?
Where's he from? Hang on. Like what, college or originally?
As far as the hometown.
Christian Morel. He is Santiago's Dominican Republic.
Never mind. See, I thought he was an American. That would have been the first American black player to be playing in the World Series in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And I thought he was American. He's not.
Yeah.
See, this is what we're dealing with. What we talk about with the situation with baseball. It is like, how do you do this where you're trying to get more black players in the league and you're trying to make inclusivity, as the ESPN loves to make that name, like it's a hard-on on a porn. They do that. It's like they do all stuff. It's phony. It's ridiculous. But how do you do that when you cannot get black kids to be playing baseball in any kind of level? It's like, where they're playing it at, and I just hate to say it, but they're playing it in Puerto Rico. They're playing in Cuba. It is where they're playing it at. Where they're playing in America? They're playing basketball and football. Yep. And it's like, we got to quit this whole media shaming deal over, there's more white players in there. They've tried putting baseball things in inner cities. It doesn't work. They tried putting baseball camps in the inner cities. They can't get finished.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. They've tried things. They can't get them finished. And do I want to see them in the inner cities? You darn straight, because we need to get baseball building. And especially in America. But these are the things where you will not bring up. It's a shaming game. And it's like, by itself, I wish that Morel wasn't American because of that. Because the Cubs would have that. But we got to quit the shaming thing because it's more than just the player itself. There's more than the story.
It is. It's way more to the story. And then our final topic, just to wrap it up, Cupboard Dud. The Cubs have a high odds of a second half season surge. I'm gonna say they do as long as Ross stays out of the way. What do you think?
Ross can't stay out of the way. Problem. He can't stay out of the way. That's a problem. There's going to be, the biggest thing I hate about the All-Star, the All-Star game, because we're going to be seeing the All-Star game pretty soon. It's the All-Star break. The issue with the All-Star break is this is one of those times where you want to see the Cubs keep playing. They can't afford to take a break because they're going to go cold. This happens the last couple of years. And you go cold, right? That's the issue. They've gone cold the last couple of times. You know what I'm saying? They'll get cold after the All-Star break, trying to get their hitting going, all that kind of stuff. And this is the time where you want them to keep playing. I know you need a break, but you want them to keep playing because you're going to have a couple of those 2-1 games after the All-Star break. Yeah. So it's like I can't see it. I can see them sinking a little bit on that. But it's like I like it. I can see with 85 wins, maybe get the last of the seventh, but unless they pick up a monster deal at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
Unless they get I'm going to say it, and it's only because of Suzuki. I want Ohtani. I want Ohtani, but I want his hitting. It's like I want this is the thing. I want his hitting. I want his outfield work. I want him in the playoffs in the World Series as a relief pitcher.
As a relief pitcher?
Yes. I want him as a relief pitcher.
So not on the starting rotation?
Because you lose two. I don't want him in a starting rotation because you lose 2 spots if he gets injured.
That's true.
You lose 2 spots, and you have to make up that from your IL, from all that. It's like the thing is you can replace the thing. I know what you're saying with that. I want the hitter. That's not going to happen. They're going to be the thing, and we got to go see because ESPN's got to have they've got to have their slobbering game because he threw a 3-hitter and now he's going to go hit 40 home runs. They got to do that, but if it's being smart, I want his hitting. He is a great hitter. I want him as a relief. Because I'm thinking in my head, I want in the playoffs, I want that because you need an extra relief pitcher.
You do.
Because you don't see any more than 4 innings out of your starters in the playoffs anymore. So I want the extra spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Practice his pitching. Practice your arm. Practice your pitching. Maybe get a spot start at the end of the year. Something. But I don't want him full-time pitcher and full-time hitter because then you lose 2 spots if he gets hurt.
Yep, absolutely. And, that's going to wrap it up for our show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to Cubfidential. We are right at the 28-minute mark. So for Jacob Christner and myself, Mr. Cubfidentiality, this is Cubfidential. We will see you all in 7.
You bet.